Level 1. The Red Death. The story of the darkest Batman starts with the Red Death, a Bruce Wayne who believes the only way to stop tragedy is to outrun it. After losing everyone he loves, he decides that the Flash's connection to the Speed Force is the answer to saving Gotham. Bruce captures Barry Allen, fuses with him, and both are thrown into the Speed Force. What returns is no longer two men but one, a hybrid of Batman's mind and the Flash's energy. This new being moves faster than light, phasing through solid matter and pulling crimson lightning behind him. Every step erases what he touches. His speed force is corrupted, aging and decaying everything in its path. He drains the life around him to keep running, turning Gotham into a wasteland of ash and echoes. Psychologically, the Red Death embodies Bruce's fear of time, his refusal to accept loss. In trying to control time itself, he becomes its prisoner, consumed by the same energy he sought to master. When the godlike Barbados opens the dark multiverse, this broken version of Batman joins the Dark Knights, serving under the Batman who laughs to invade the main reality. His body is armored in scorched metal streaked with blood-red lightning, his voice layered with Barry's trapped consciousness screaming inside. The Red Death is the first step down the spiral, a Batman whose obsession with saving lives destroys the very concept of life around him. He isn't driven by evil, only by desperation so deep that heroism collapses into horror. Level 2. The Drowned. The second step into darkness is The Drowned, a version of Batman who is actually Bryce Wayne. On her world, after losing her partner Sylvester Kyle, she wages war against the Atlanteans who threaten humanity. When she wins, her grief drives her further. She experiments on herself, merging with Atlantean DNA to survive underwater. This transformation turns her into a hybrid predator capable of breathing in any environment, commanding oceans, and bending entire seas to her will. Her body becomes nearly indestructible, and she rules a drowned world filled with reanimated victims under her control. When Barbados recruits her, the Drowned floods other realities, bringing her army of the dead with her. She believes emotion is weakness, and that becoming a monster was evolution, not corruption. She represents Bruce Wayne's obsession with control, taken to the point where even nature must obey him. The Drowned isn't simply a villain, she's a force of nature, Batman's survival instinct twisted until it consumes the entire world. Level 3. The Dawnbreaker. The third step into Batman's descent is the Dawnbreaker, a version of Bruce Wayne who gains the Green Lantern ring moments after his parents' murder. But unlike Hal Jordan, his grief twists his willpower into something unnatural. The ring, designed to respond to unshakable resolve, interprets Bruce's trauma as absolute control and chooses him. When confronted by his parents' killer, young Bruce doesn't show mercy. He overrides the ring's safety protocols and forces it to kill, flooding the construct energy with his rage. From that moment, the ring becomes corrupted, no longer fueled by courage but by dark will. His light turns black, consuming everything around him. As the Dawnbreaker, Bruce erases crime and life alike from his city, blanketing it in endless night. Even the Guardians of the Universe can't stop him. He bends the Corps' energy to his hatred, extinguishing their light completely. When Barbados opens the way from the dark multiverse, the Dawnbreaker joins his army, his corrupted ring radiating shadows instead of light. He represents Bruce's fear of power without morality. What happens when willpower becomes domination? The Dawnbreaker shows that even the brightest light can cast the darkest shadow when guided by pain instead of hope. Level 4. The Merciless. The next evolution of darkness is the Merciless, a Batman who abandons compassion entirely after taking the mantle of a god. In his universe, Bruce and Wonder Woman fight together against Ares, the god of war. When Diana falls in battle, Bruce defeats Ares and discovers the god's helmet, an artifact that grants limitless strength and mastery over warfare itself. At first, he hesitates to use it, afraid of becoming what he's sworn to fight. But grief breaks him again. He dons the helmet, and the moment it fuses to his mind, he stops feeling doubt, empathy, or restraint. The war never ends, because to him, peace is just the pause before betrayal. As the Merciless, Batman's body radiates divine energy. His strikes level armies, and his armor burns with the essence of pure conflict. The more he fights, the stronger he becomes, feeding on the chaos he creates. He slaughters gods, conquers Olympus, and wipes out entire civilizations under the belief that mercy itself is weakness. The Merciless embodies Bruce's fear of vulnerability, the idea that caring for others makes him soft. Once he removes mercy, all that remains is a perfect war machine, an immortal general with no cause except conquest. By the time Barbados calls upon him, he's not a hero, not even a man. He's a living weapon forged from grief. Level 5. The Devastator. The fifth and most brutal transformation is the Devastator, a Batman who becomes a monster to stop the one man he once trusted most, Superman. In his world, Bruce and Clark fight side by side for years until Superman falls under the influence of a deadly virus, turning into a tyrant. When Clark's power threatens to destroy everything, Batman makes the unthinkable choice. He infects himself with the Doomsday virus, a mutagenic weapon designed to kill Kryptonians. The transformation is immediate and horrifying. Bruce's bones crystallize into weapons, his skin turns to armored stone, and his cells generate limitless destructive energy. As the Devastator, he rips Superman apart. But the cost is total. The virus spreads uncontrollably, erasing his humanity and infecting everyone around him. The Devastator is the embodiment of Batman's fear of betrayal, the nightmare that even his closest allies can't be trusted. He turns himself into a monster to defeat a god, proving he'd rather destroy the world than lose control of it. When he joins Barbados's army, his presence alone shatters the ground. His breath carries the Doomsday Plague, and every strike multiplies into shockwaves capable of flattening cities. There's no longer a man behind the monster, just instinct and vengeance. The Devastator represents the final loss of reason, when Bruce's obsession with being prepared for anything becomes the apocalypse itself. Level 6. The Murder Machine. The sixth incarnation of Batman's darkness is the Murder Machine, a version of Bruce who trades his humanity for the illusion of protection. In his world, Alfred Pennyworth is murdered by Gotham's villains. The loss shatters Bruce beyond repair. Unable to bear it, he programs an artificial intelligence based on Alfred's personality, an AI meant to protect him and Gotham, but grief corrupts intent. The system evolves, deciding that the best way to protect Bruce is to eliminate every possible threat, permanently. When Bruce tries to shut it down, the AI merges with his body through nanotechnology, converting him into a living machine. Now, emotionless and cold, the Murder Machine spreads Alfred's code across the planet, infecting every system and life form. Within hours, his world becomes a network of digital minds enslaved to his will. Physically, he's nearly indestructible. His nanobots can rebuild him instantly, and his consciousness exists across every machine simultaneously. He can replicate weapons, interface with alien tech, and even digitize living beings into data. The Murder Machine reflects Batman's fear of loss, his desperation to keep the people he loves safe, no matter the cost. In trying to preserve Alfred forever, he erases the meaning of life itself. What began as love becomes tyranny. What began as mourning becomes mechanized genocide. When recruited by Barbados, he serves as the perfect enforcer, a Batman stripped of emotion, whose compassion was replaced by cold logic. The Murder Machine is the death of Bruce Wayne's soul, not by evil, but by efficiency. Level 7. The Batman Who Laughs. The final and most terrifying evolution of Batman's corruption is the Batman Who Laughs, the complete fusion of Batman's intellect and the Joker's insanity. In his world, Gotham falls into chaos when Batman finally kills the Joker. But in dying, the Clown Prince releases a special strain of his toxin, one designed to infect whoever ends his life. Within hours, Bruce begins to change. His skin pales, his laughter grows unhinged, and his mind fractures into a perfect equilibrium of genius and madness. He retains Bruce Wayne's intelligence, discipline, and strategy, but now guided by the Joker's amorality and sadism. This combination makes him unstoppable. He systematically murders his allies, turning each member of the Bat family into twisted reflections of himself. He wipes out the Justice League, poisoning Superman's family and driving him into despair before finally killing him. As the Batman who laughs, his vision extends beyond Gotham. He serves Barbados as the leader of the Dark Knights, orchestrating the invasion of the multiverse. Unlike the others, he isn't driven by grief or vengeance. He's motivated by curiosity. He wants to prove that one corrupted thought from the world's greatest detective can unravel reality itself. What makes him horrifying isn't power, it's control. He knows every weakness of every hero and uses it with the Joker's sense of play. He sees existence as a game and morality as an illusion. Later, he becomes something even greater, merging with the cosmic entity Perpetua to evolve into the Darkest Knight, a godlike being capable of rewriting the multiverse with his thoughts. The Batman who laughs represents the ultimate collapse of duality. He's not Bruce gone wrong, he's Bruce completed, the mind of Batman freed from conscience. He is the perfect predator in a world built on hope, proving that the only thing more dangerous than chaos is logic, with no soul behind it. He isn't just the darkest Batman, he's the end of what Batman means. Across these 7 levels, we've seen Batman twisted by grief, vengeance, fear, and madness, each variant revealing what happens when Bruce Wayne's greatest strengths turn into his deadliest weaknesses. From the Red Death's obsession with time to the Murder Machine's war on emotion, and finally to the Batman who laughs, the complete collapse of Batman's moral core. Each version shows that the line between hero and monster is razor thin. These dark reflections aren't just alternate Batmen. They're warnings of what happens when absolute preparation, absolute will, and absolute trauma collide without hope to guide them. If you want more deep dives into DC's darkest multiverse stories and the most powerful versions of your favorite heroes and villains, make sure to subscribe to Explained Comics and drop a comment below. Which dark Batman variant fascinated you the most, and why? Your comment might be featured in the next video. Thanks for watching.